We just got in this new line, so I picked these two beautiful kind of green and nature colored fabrics, and this is my background, okay? From my fat quarters, and everything for this project is going to be 2.5 inch strips, so it works up really fast. I'm going to take my fat quarters and I cut it into different strips, or into my 2.5 inch strips, and on the pattern it'll tell you all the different sizes to subcut it into. I'm not going to go into all of that today. You can download the pattern and get the exact measurements for everything. So after I have my 2.5 inch strips from my fat quarters, and I cut some 2.5 inch strips from my background, I'm going to start making my strip sets. So I'm going to be making 2 strip sets with this fat quarter in the middle, 2 strip sets with this fat quarter in the middle, and then I also need to make 1 strip set that has my background in the middle and my fat quarter colors on the sides. Okay, so pretty straightforward.
Are your strip sets with a fabric?
Or
with a fat quarter?
Yeah, well, and actually on the pattern it tells you what size to cut them down to. So you cut your 2.5 inch strips. These I believe were 10 or 10.5. I think these are 14.5. Okay, and then from my strip sets I need to subcut them into my 2.5 inch sections. Okay, my 2.5 inch width for my strip, and I'm going to subcut them into my 2.5 inch sections. Okay, so I'm just going to cut a few of them up here quickly for the demonstration. And again, I'm using the Creative Grids ruler. I love this ruler a lot because I can flip it if I have it this way and my hole numbers are facing me. This line is going to be at my 2 inch mark, but if I flip it around, this line is now going to be at my 2.5 inch mark because it starts this side with the half. So I don't have to try to always find that 1/2 inch mark. From this side, my full line is at my 2.5. So it makes cutting, anytime you need to add that 1/2 inch to things, which we do in quilting a lot, it makes it really convenient. So I'm just going to cut up. And so from this longer strip, you're going to get 5 pieces, 5 little segments from each one. Okay. And I'm just going to cut a few from here. So basically we're going to be using these segments to make a 9 patch, right? And I think most of you are familiar with a 9 patch and strip piecing. So I have my pieces that I cut with my fat quarter in the middle, and my pieces that I cut with the other fat quarter in the middle. And then from these, I already had one cut up, so that's going to be these pieces, all right? And so I will have all of my pieces for my 9 patches. So from these, I need to make, because I have 4 blocks, I need to make two 9 patches with this fabric and 2 9 patches with this. That'll give me my 4 blocks. So again, I'm just going to be starting with my fat quarter color in the middle, and then all the same color on the same, or in the same 9 patch. And then, okay, so I'm going to have 4 different 9 patches that I'm going to make. With these pieces, I have some left over. And what I do with those is, in the instructions, it also has you cut some 2.5 by, I believe, 6.5 inch strips. And so I'm going to take those and add them to the extra pieces that I have from my strip set. And I'm always going to have the same color being put together. So I'll get some blocks that have this fat quarter color, some blocks with this fat quarter color. So that will give me these pieces. Okay, so far we got super simple stuff. We're doing some strip sets, making a 9 patch, and making this little segment here. Okay. So when I put them together, let me grab my sample again real quick. So here's my 9 patch. Oops. Here is my extra segment. Obviously, I swapped the colors around. Okay? So, for the one with the circles on it, I'm going to use the segments that are the solid green. Oh, that way. I got to look. Yeah. And then the ones that are the solid green, I would use the fabric that is my circle fabric. Okay. Now, if I wanted to, could I make them? Have it be one block is all one color and one block is the other color? Absolutely. It's your quilt. You can do whatever you want. Okay. So I could have them be like that if I wanted to. And then I'm also going to have my 4.5 inch squares that I had to cut, and those are going to be in my corners. Again, I just think it's prettier when you have the opposite color with it. Okay, so that would be my block. I would have 2 of them this way, and I'm going to have 2 of them like this. And then once I have these all sewn together, I put them together with a 14-inch sashing piece. So again, if I hold this up, I have my block, my sashing, my block, my sashing. So this one, just for a little bit of a different angle after we got it done, we just decided to take and kind of miter off these corners just to give it a little bit different shape. You don't have to do that. I have another one here that just keeps it straight. Okay, so you can leave it like this, but you can add just a little bit different dimension to it by cutting off those corners. The other thing we like to do is, and so many people don't do it, they always tend to have their background neutral and their prints the color. But sometimes if you swap it around, take that bolder, brighter, darker color and make that your background. It really gives you a different look on things. You know, kind of try to get away from the white, tan, light gray for your background colors. Throw some dark in there as your main print. It really does make a difference. So that's basically the gist of the project. It's that easy, literally. Then we went a step further because I've said in the past that one roll from a quilt is a table runner, and a whole bunch of table runners sewn together can be a quilt. So behind me, it's the exact same project, right? I have my 4 blocks sashed together, which is one row of my table runner. Here's another sashing, and then another table runner, and another sashing, and another table runner. So if you think you can handle making a table runner, you can handle making a quilt. You just have to make that runner 5 times. So obviously, if this is 2 fat quarters in a yard, and I needed 5 rows to make my quilt, this project was 10 fat quarters. I had all different shades of red and 5 yards of background. All right, the 5 yards actually gave me enough to do my extra sashings with it. You know, you never use exactly the amount, so that yard is a little bit more than you need. But by buying 5 yards of it, I was able to do my sashing along with it. So again, you can make a table runner, you can make a quilt. It's your choice. It's just repeating the same process over and over